Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you can hear me. It is crazy windy here today. We are supposed to have low temperatures tomorrow and Thursday, down in the mid 40s. And so I've been outside today, cutting things back, picking things up because the wind has knocked down several of my plants. My castor bean plants have both fallen down. So I had to prop them both up. I've been trying to cover up with a little bit of covering some of my baby plants like my mustard and my circular garden where I've got my tomatoes, just trying to put some covering over there. But today I want to show you all another project, not me covering things up, because we're only going to get 2 days of mid 40s and then it's going to go back up to warm temperatures. Our daytime temps are 70s and 80s, so I'm not really concerned about the 2 days of cold temps, but I do want to make sure that I'm continuing to clean up and continuing to try to make the garden what I'd like for it to be moving forward. I'm continuously changing things, and today is no different. So I decided to put a few more things in the ground today. You all know, if you've been with me for a little while, that I put turmeric in the ground in the orchard area, in the circular garden, and in the back fence garden. I have turmeric growing. And so I was looking at my lemongrass and I thought, I would love to put some lemongrass in the ground. Um, I don't know whether or not this is going to be my forever home, but for right now, it's home. And I want to put a few more things in the ground just in case. So let's get into it. All right, everybody, I have about 4 containers of lemongrass in the back garden. And I'm trying to decide which of the 4 I would like to put in the ground and where that might be. So what I think I might do is I might put a piece of it in the orchard area. That could be a huge mistake, because lemongrass puts down a lot of roots, and once it's in the ground, it may take a bit of doing to get it out. But I want to keep it. I want it to thrive without me having to do a whole lot to it. And because I have a lot in containers, I tend to have to do a lot in the garden. And I'm starting to get a little tired of a lot of the extra. I want to do as much as I can in containers, but I also want to put some things in the ground. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've been sitting out here trying to figure out where I want to put lemongrass, and I think I might have an idea. So let's go walk around and go to one of those spots, get that container, and put that container of lemongrass in the ground, because the wind is picking up and it's not getting any better. It's actually getting worse. So I need to hurry up. So let's get into it today. Let's go plant some lemongrass. I know you're probably thinking, girl, why are you putting warm weather stuff in the ground? It's about ready to be cold, and we're probably going to have a really tough winter this year. It's been really crazy warm, so much so that I've lost a significant amount of plants. Um, but I still have a pretty good garden, pretty big garden. And so the reason why I'm putting some things in the ground is because I want things to connect with the ground. I want more of some of the stuff that I'm growing. And so I'm trying to find places where I can put it in the ground to where it can grow up and thrive for me. And so what I think I might do, I've got some spaces in the back garden. I put turmeric down on that side. I have a space in between these 2 big pots at the back of the garden. Now what I can do is I can do my very best. I don't know how successful I'm going to be with it, but I can do my very best to shift this pot here towards the left, and it'll give me a space in the center where I can put some lemongrass. Now, lemongrass in the ground can get really big. I mean, as tall as it is wide. And I'm also looking at putting lemongrass in the ground to give some of my plants some shade. Now, what I currently have in the ground, in the pot right here, it's growing well. It hasn't needed any shade. It has taken this sun like a champ. It is either Swiss chard or perpetual spinach, or it could even be a sugar beet, one of those three things. But either way, it has done quite well in this pot. I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. So let me turn you all around. Like I said, I've been cutting things back. Some stuff looks a little worse for the wear, but I'm cutting things back. So let's take a look at what I'm showing you all and where I think I might put the first two pots back here of lemongrass. This is what I was talking about. And again, I really hope you all can hear me. The wind is so crazy. It is just wind, and more wind today. But this pot right here, I've got space in between this cinder block and the post. And so I was thinking about shifting it over here, but what I think I could do is shift it over here and have it sit up against the cinder block. That way the cinder block is wedged in. It shouldn't move, but just in case. So I am going to have to move this over a little bit. I really hope I can, because it has a lot of soil in it and it may be too heavy for me, but I'll do what I can do. And then I can put some in the ground right here. I can probably put two pieces of it in the ground right here and let it grow up and see what I can get for the coming season. So let me shift this pot and we'll get started. Before I start shifting stuff, I want to show you all the cattle panel garden. You all really haven't seen much of the cattle panel garden this year, and that's on purpose because there's just so much growing that has been kind of creeping me out, because it's just so much in here that I don't know whether or not something is living. And I come in here every day, but I don't stay in here long because it creeps me out. I don't know why this year it's been creeping me out, but it's been creeping me out this year. But my peppers didn't do all that great, but I do have several peppers that have done well. These two right here, and those over there. And I've got two over in this area as well that have done well. I have some empty spots where I'll be planting peppers up in the spring. You all know I tried to start some peppers in the house. Y'all, I have too much going on, and they almost all of them, except for two, they did nothing. So I'll have to start again. I think my seeds are really old, but I will be putting peppers in these containers. My girlfriend is going to give me some more of these little gray containers, so I'll be lifting them up off the ground, these pots, and then I'll have a row of pots here in the front. Let me swing over. Sorry, I don't want to go too fast. And then I'll be also picking these up off the ground and have a container over here, and they'll be off the ground as well over here. So I am continuing to change, but I wanted you all to see what the inside of the cattle panel look like. The bananas are looking amazing. In this pot over here, I realize I have two baby bananas. I will probably dig those out and put them in the greenhouse and let them overwinter in there. I may do that today. I won't take you guys along with me. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But right now I feel like I won't. But let's get back into putting some things in the ground, because I'm trying to shift some stuff and get ready for this 2 days of cool before our cold really sets in. Okay, the whole time I've been back here digging around, I'm trying to decide if I want to put the lemongrass back here. And as I'm digging around, moving some stuff around, I decided for sure, I do want it back here. And the reason is because when I had the possum in the back, it was crawling around behind here, crawling on top of the pots, at least over towards this way over there it was. And there are mosquitoes that tend to like to hang out down here in the back. And so I'm going to put it back here because the mosquitoes don't like lemongrass, and I'm hoping that this will deter the mosquitoes. So this is the hole that I am going to dig. or the area where I'm going to dig a hole. And I'm just going to loosen up this soil. This is nothing more than clay. You all can see that, hopefully. Let me show you. This is a clay back here. And because it has the wood chip is breaking down. There are weeds back here, so there are plenty of weeds in the ground. I will be chopping them and taking them out because I don't know what they are from. So we're going to just get those out of here. I do have my fertilizer. I hope my head is not in y'all's way, but it's tight down here. So I'm going to put some fertilizer in the hole like that, just one scoop. And I have my pot over here off to my right. This is the pot that I'm going to be putting in the ground back here. I'm not going to put all of it, all the soil. I'm going to keep the vast majority of this soil, but I am going to put this in the ground. It's got plenty of roly-polies, so I'm glad to get rid of that. We're going to put this right here on the ground for just a quick second. And I'm going to mix up, if I can find a place to put this, I'm going to mix up this soil like that with the fertilizer. I'm going to take and see, this may end up being, and there's spiders in the pot, this may end up being the entire pot, even with the soil, because there's so much root mass, and I don't want to disturb it too bad. But there we have that. Move that soil out the way, and I'll throw that pot away because it is no good. But as you can see, I need to make this hole a little bit bigger, but this is the root mass for the lemongrass, and it smells beautiful. I'm going to place it in the pot right here for a quick second. I'm going to take the dead bits and just lay them on the ground because it smells gorgeous. I love the way lemongrass smells. And so I'm going to get that out of that hole. That's some plastic from off of a piece of cardboard. And I'm going to shift this soil. And again, I hope my head is not in the way. And if it is, I do apologize. I'm going to shift that soil. Now, because I put fertilizer on that soil, I'm going to put a little bit more in the hole, like that. Now I'm going to mix it around like so. And then we're going to get this lemongrass and we're going to pop it in like that. And I'm just going to take this natural soil, the native soil, and shift it around the lemongrass. And again, if my head was in the way, I do apologize. You all know it is very tight in this area, very tight back here. And so I'm going to move this mulch, the wood chip, back on top like so. And I'm going to stomp it in like that and seed it in. That way it's touching the natural soil. And hopefully this will grow nice and bushy, and I will have plenty of lemongrass to bring in the house for years to come. And because it's back here, it will be covered up with the frost blanket and the greenhouse plastic, so I won't need to put a bucket over this one. I will come back and water it in, but for right now, I'm just going to take off these dead tops. And what I might do, because it's probably going to die back since I put it in the ground, what I might just do is come and trim it back and take the tops and put it in the house, or put it in the shed and let it dry. Just taking all the dry bits off like that. I might just come back and do that once I finish with all of the lemongrass that I'm working on today. We're going to cut that. But I figured having lemongrass in the back of the garden back here would be a great addition. We got some spider webs or something on my finger. Let's get that off of there. Because of the mosquitoes and whatnot that like to live back here, and putting it in the ground, will give me an opportunity to have a nice big bushy plant that I can take from throughout the season, and hopefully it will, because it's grass, it'll die back and come back every season. So I'm sorry you all fell, but let me try this again. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not going to take that out. I'm going to leave that just like it is. I'm sorry you all fell. I'm not taking that out. Mistakes happen, and it's extremely windy here. And so that right there is the lemongrass, and I will cover all of this up with uh, winter covering, and so it will be covered up and hopefully it will survive. I may end up just putting a bucket over the top just to be doubly safe. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I know the sun is right here, and you all probably cannot see me very well, but I'm over here in the fire pit area, and I'm probably going to need to take this watermelon down and just forego what babies are on here. I don't know if they'll survive the mid 40s. I think I might just try it because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 watermelon on here, maybe 11, that I would love to see get a little bit bigger. They may or may not, I don't know. But I'm over here anyway in the fire pit area, right in front of the temporary greenhouse. Now, this greenhouse is going to be taken down because I don't have another cover for it. I don't want to buy another cover for it. And so this cover is tatty and has holes in it because it's been sitting here for quite some time. And what I might just do is dismantle it right now and get it in um, in the garbage, because I'm not going to buy another cover for this. I don't. I need it, but I need something bigger, and I don't have the space right here for something bigger. So what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to dismantle this and throw out the cover because I can see there are holes in the top. It's not going to survive a cold winter because the top has holes in it. I didn't notice that until just now, but it needs to be dismantled. So I'm going to do that, clear this space out, and then I will have space over here in order to plant some new stuff. So in the coming year, I'll be able to plant some stuff over here. I was going to put the lemongrass right here in the corner of the fire pit area, right in front of my tire garden, but I think it might be a good idea if I put the lemongrass behind the tire garden right here where the greenhouse is. So I'm going to dismantle this. I think I might have enough time. The sun is moving, so it is going to be going down soon. And I think it's just time to let this go because this cover is really horrible now that I sit here and look at it. So let me get started. And then we'll finish planting off this lemongrass because this has been an eyesore for quite a while. I had no plan on replacing this. I would love to have additional space to the greenhouse that I already have, make it a little bit longer. That would be perfect. But I don't have uh, the means for that right now. So we're going to take this down. So let me get at it. All right, I have taken it down for the most part. And I decided as I was dismantling the top part that I could use this as a flower stand. I can't put anything really heavy on it, I don't think. But I do believe I did have some relatively heavy pots on here when it was actually a working greenhouse. So I'm going to leave this structure here for right now. And as the season progresses throughout winter and spring, I'll see how I can use this. I could put um, starting plants out here that I don't want to put in the actual black greenhouse. Start them here. This way, they will be ready for the temperature because they would have started outside. Um, there's a few things I could possibly do. So I'm not going to get rid of this just yet because this piece of frame is still usable. I have two more of those planks that I could use to put down at the bottom if I needed to keep it sturdy. But the frame itself is under the wood chip. And so you can see as I was pulling things up, the wood chip was coming from being pulled from up under it. And so I'm going to leave it as is, and we will see how this progresses as I continue to figure out what I want to do. Now I need to put all this away so it doesn't fly away. So let me do that right quick. This was supposed to be me planting lemongrass, and I have done this, that, and the other thing, and the lemongrass has kind of sort of been sitting. So let's get back to the lemongrass, shall we? We're going to put it right in there. Okay, so I am going to have to get on top of my tire garden and see how successful I can be with putting a lemongrass right here. And right this second, it doesn't appear that I'm going to be able to do it the way I like. This wood chip is pretty compacted. And so I'm trying to do this with one hand and move the wood chip. As you can see, I'm not all that successful. I do have a baby watermelon over here to my left. Right here. I'm going to actually pick it up and get it out of the way. I don't want to hit it or harm it. So we're going to sit it on top of the wood pile. And I am going to see if I can shimmy over that way somehow and get some of this out of the way without harming myself. So far, somewhat successful. All right. I should have got a smaller pair of boots. My boots are too big. But when I bought them, I thought I needed a bigger size. And I ended up not needing a bigger size. So anyway, trying to get, and there's a lot of wood chip here. I am not touching soil yet. I am still digging wood chip, which is a good thing. I want to have my garden with as much wood chip as possible to fix the soil problem that I have. Let's see. All right, we are now hitting soil. So I want to try to get some of that out of there. And I'm pretty wedged in here. This is a bit of a feat. There we go. And that's soil that I'm hitting right there. Okay. And it's falling back in on itself, which is not good for me. But let's see. All right, let's get some fertilizer. I hope you guys are watching and I'm not just doing this for me. But if I am, that's okay. And I hope you can hear me. The wind is blowing and I'm not sure if you all can hear me. I hope it's not muffled. I just moved my microphone. Let's see. And let's try to mix up some of that native soil. Get this out of the way. I had a frost blanket over the top of the greenhouse and it deteriorated. So let's back out of here and let's get the lemongrass. Now the lemongrass is over here off to the right. Sorry about that, y'all. This is one weirdo video because the wind is blowing so hard. But I hit you all for a quick second. So I have the lemongrass in my hand. I'm going to take the mulch off at the top. You all can see it blowing in the wind. I'm going to take the mulch off the top, doing the exact same thing I did when I tried to get it out of the pot the last go round. And I'm going to just try to get it out, loosen it, keep some of this soil if I can, not put the entire amount of soil in the ground. That'll do. And so let's see what I can do here. Oh, I'm shifting around. I don't want to lay anything on top of the tire because I have some seedlings of some zinnias growing. And so I do not want to harm those. I've already, I think, misplaced or displaced one of them. So let's try this way. And I know you all probably can't see that well. You can just hear me. I'm trying to wedge myself back over here without harming myself. Let's see. Okay. So we got the lemongrass. I'm just going to drop it in the hole. Oh, that's perfect. And I'm just going to backfill with the native soil and the wood chip. Now, it'll probably be more wood chip than native soil, but it'll find its way. It will find its way. And I hope my head is not in y'all's way, but I'm just moving it back around, getting out some of the dead. Matter of fact, I'm going to put some of that dead over there because there has been rodents in the garden, as you all know, and they frequent back this way because I had a bait over here and they were taking that bait away. So I'm just firming around it with my foot and just settling it in, trying to get some of this dead and throw it out that way to deter any pests that may not like the scent. All right. So let me wedge myself, squeeze myself out of here. My goodness. Y'all, the things we do for the garden. Okay, now I need to get some water and water it in. And then let's take a chat. Let's have a chat. All right, everybody. It has been a chaotic video. Ooh, flock of birds. Did y'all see that? Whole flock of birds. It has been a chaotic video for me today. I have not shown you all the things that I've been doing, but I've been doing a lot. Cleaned out the shed. I feel like it's time for me to get rid of stuff. I feel like I'm holding on to too much, and there are some things that I can let go in the garden. You know, when we buy plants, we tend to save those little pots, hold on to them. And I had a whole bunch, a garden cart full of pots. And so I went through those pots and I put aside what I want to keep. I put aside what I'm willing to give away. I do plan on giving away some plants in the coming year. I have a couple friends who are starting some gardens, and their daughters are starting gardens. And if I have extra, or when I have extra, I'm going to be potting those things up, putting them in those pots and giving those away. As you know, this video was about putting some stuff in the ground. I have two more relatively large pots. I think they're 15-gallon. Sorry about that, y'all. The wind is really bad. I got about two 15-gallon pots, I want to say, of lemongrass in the back garden by the cattle panel. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep those in those containers. I just might. I also have one huge container on the patio and two huge containers in the cut flower garden. So I did put, as you saw, and I'm sorry, my neighbors have decided they wanted to do the lawn right now. So I hope you all don't hear too much disturbance, but I put two lemongrass plants in the ground and made some changes to the back of the greenhouse. I'm hoping that taking down that little green greenhouse is not going to cause the black greenhouse too much disturbance, because that greenhouse was a bit of a windbreak, and now it doesn't have that to break the wind. So we'll see what happens over there. I was telling my sister earlier that I am thinking about putting a moringa in the ground, and that might be a good place to put a moringa in the ground. What do y'all think? I don't know. But I'm making some changes, y'all. I'm making some changes. Well, I've got a lot of birds on the fence looking over here and looking around. So I've got some yard visitors, y'all. So I'm going to wrap it up because the wind is really, really high today, and I can't do any more out here. And I'm getting even more birds on the fence. So I want to say thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are in your gardens preparing for your winter, battening down the hatches, getting things ready, harvesting what you can, sowing seeds, putting in your spring bulbs, doing all the things that we're doing right now in the garden, because I'm trying to do as much as that as possible. And again, I apologize for all the noise. It is just, I guess it's just that time of day that the neighbors felt like they want to do some yard work, and they're entitled. So, all right, y'all, thank you for watching the video. Give me that thumbs up. Let me know you like my content, not necessarily this video. If you like this video, leave me a comment. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.